Hello guys, welcome back. First off, thank you guys so much. The Patreon came in, which really helps, and the two of you donated to the tip jar, so thank you guys so much. That really truly helps. Um and I got a thing of last night. I just like started feeling weird yesterday. I was doing so great with the International House of Awesome, and I was trying to figure out, oh, which god do I do next? And then I started getting like those weird symptoms I get like when a panic attack is coming on or depression's coming on or anxiety is going to shoot through the roof. And I'm like, why? I have everything I want now. And I tried to talk to the gods about it. And it didn't seem like it was working. It seemed to be getting worse. And at the end of the day, I came across it extremely hard to watch video because these guys admit they normally kill wolves if they find them in traps. But it was not wolf season, so they had to let the wolf go because they were trying to trap coyote. And obviously, I'm not a fan of people that trap wolves or coyotes, but I don't want to get into a hunting morality debate with you. It's not about morality. I love wolves and coyotes. And this first video they had was this one-eyed wolf, and he was having none of their bullshit. And he was doing these unearthly sounds I've never heard a wolf make before. And I've probably watched every, little snippet just about on YouTube and on wolf sites and everything else. And I've heard them make barks, but never an alarm bark like this. This was an alarm bark, but it was the deepest, biggest, scariest alarm bark I've ever heard from a wolf. And he was having none of them, and he was, he was ready to attack. And because he was caught in this trap, and here come these humans, and he can smell them. And I'm sure he knew they were armed, and the one has a camera pointed straight at him. And I've noticed sometimes animals don't make a distinction between a camera and a gun. It's just a thing I've noticed as I go out with my own camera. It's like if you're pointing it at them, they run. So the wolf was not happy. And they eventually had to get a catch pole around his neck, and they were trying to get it around, and the wolf just kept catching it and snarling and shaking his head back and forth. And they were using a stick, and I know this sounds cruel, but they were trying to get him to bite the stick so they could get the catch pole on him, and eventually they got it on him. Then they had to free his foot, which was very exciting because the wolf didn't want any of their bullshit. And they finally got him free and he ran off, but they were terrified and they had their guns ready because they're trying to let the wolf go. But then it occurred to them that the wolf might not be too damn grateful that they let the wolf go and he might go after them. So they let him go and he ran away. And they had a couple more videos, and some of these wolves were just beyond pissed. They had one, I think it was the third one, that just grabbed onto the one catch pole. They had actually used two with him because he was huge. And he was not letting go of that catch pole. He had a death grip on it. They eventually had to loosen it up as much as they could after they freed him. They actually used two poles on this wolf, and then they ran away. Is what they did. And they came back later and they got the pole, but they were terrified of that wolf because that wolf wanted to piece everybody because he was hurt and he was trapped and he was scared. So I think it was kind of Odin's way of saying that's you. In fact, he did at one point in the video. He was like, "That's you. That's you exactly. People were trying to help you, and that's what you act like." I just kind of looked at him because he meant gods. He didn't mean humans. He's like, that's you exactly. People are trying to set you free and liberate you, and look at you. Snarl. Bite the pulse. See what good it does." And I thought about that. And I went to bed and I was talking to all of the gods and I just couldn't like calm down. Like the first 24 hours of the International House of Awesome were awesome. And then not so much. And I had a dream this morning, and there was a first part of the dream, but then the second part was something about wolf mints. Something about wolf mints that kept coming into my brain, and it was a package of mints I was supposed to get, and it was something like you have to get this in the real world. Wolf mint. Wolf mint. Wolf mint. I get up and I'm like, there's no such thing as wolf mints, and I go to Odin because I'm like, this is obviously Odin if it's wolves. I said, "Do you mean peppermints? Do you mean spearmints? Do you mean those mints that are like 90% alcohol? Because I don't think those are the wisest idea. They're like an herbal mint, but they're like 95% alcohol. It's like vodka in a mint. And it's Buck's Natural Remedy. It's really, really high alcohol content for people that should not be having alcohol. So it's like, yeah. Um, and he's like, wolf mint. Look up wolf mint. So I go and I look up wolf mint. And of course, there's like 5 billion tins on Zazzle and Etsy of wolves. And they put some mints in them. And there's nothing coming up. There's like no wolf shaped mints or anything. But there's a video about wolf by the mints. And you would not be able to make this song today. If you did, you would just be getting so much hate mail because this guy's singing to this girl. And remember, it was brought out in the 50s, I think. 50s? Yeah, it sounds about right. And he's singing like a wolf. And he's like, you better be careful, little girl, because, you know, while she's walking, you know how some girls would like wiggle and everything? And, you know, today's feminists would get up and punch that guy in the throat and say, how dare you? But back then, that was considered flirting because men. And getting hysterical laughter back here. Yes, sexist in the meaning in a way, but back then it was considered perfectly polite and flirting. And for a guy to act like a wolf was considered by some men a great compliment, which is why we still have problems with men behaving badly today. Hey, baby, nice boobs. And, and then they wonder why women are offended. If you won't want a dude to say it to you, dude, don't say it to a woman. That's like the easiest rule. Same rule applies to chicks. If you wouldn't want another chick coming up and saying something to you, don't say it to dude. All other genders, it still applies. Anyhow. It was about I'll always be chasing you, I'll always be coming after you, blah blah blah. It was actually like one of those creepy stalker songs they had in the 50s where every song was like these guys were wolves and they're going to get these women. And I'm like, how the fuck weren't women terrified the entire 1950s? Like, how did you women not just do really hard drugs to get through every day? Because that had to be kind of scary when you're a little kid. And I used to hear tons of music from the 50s, given that I had older parents. You hear it innocently. And maybe they heard it back then very innocently, but today it's like, this dude sounds like a straight up stalker because he gonna follow you and he's a wolf and they're half the lyrics are just wolf, 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 wolf. So if you think they're not creative today, they weren't creative back then either. I'm hearing baby, 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 baby back. Yeah, it was the wolf version of that song. It was like, I'm coming after you. I'm a wolf. You're wiggling around. Yeah. And always the guy that's playing the wolf tries to put himself in the good light. He's like, yeah, I'm a wolf, but I'm the wolf that'll protect you from the other wolves. I'm like, I don't think it's quite how it works, but at least you're trying. Points for trying, I guess. But yeah, I'm like, you could not make that song today. Third wave feminist would just kill you. Though I've noticed third wave feminism kind of bounces off it and he looks at it. It's not that he doesn't respect and love women, but if he's going to be in your life and he's going to protect you, he doesn't give two shits about your free will or your independence. In fact, his favorite game is let you be independent, let you get frightened by the world, and then you're back hiding under Odin, and Odin's just looking at you like, what did I tell you? And the worst thing is he's picked up that voice. He actually did it this morning, and we both just kind of stared at each other. But, you know, the boys are being good. I don't know who to do a video on next, because I was trying to think of it, and I, like, every god I thought of, I was like, damn, can't do Poseidon. I can't think of one story he had that turned out well for anybody but Poseidon. Really don't work with Zeus that much. Hermes, a god of thieves, and I love Hermes, I do, but it's like, you're the god of thieves and you're the god of messenger delivery, and so that makes you the god of thieving postal workers. And he just kind of shrugged. I'm like, nobody's gonna like that on the channel. So I don't know who else I would do. I thought Tyr, because it's Tyr's Day. But Tyr wasn't interested. Look, he's very interested in having me do an Odin video. And I said, I've talked about Odin for like 2 years, dude. I think he'd know everything there is to know about Odin. He goes, yeah, but you've never really done a video all about Odin and explained Odin. Maybe if you did, you'd explain some things to yourself. Because remember, this is his brother, and he's always going to fight for his brother. We still have International House of Awesome, and I kind of caught hell this morning from a couple gods of why do you keep running after, running under Odin? You have all this freedom now, and something scares you, and you run under Odin. I said, well, I tried running under Loki first, but Loki was in one of his moods where I went to him first. I did. And he was like, oh, well, you have all these other gods now. Maybe you should go to them to protect you. Loki, I'm coming to you. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Why don't you go talk to Hermes? I think you like Hermes. How about Apollo? Go talk to Apollo. See if he'll protect you. I'm sure he's stronger than I am. Loki, don't do this. Go away. You're annoying me. So I went to Odin, and Odin's like just kind of giving Loki side eye, and he's like, what? I'm scared. I don't know why. Oh, come here. And his voice going is stuck like that too. Half the time Loki answers me in that goofy voice I do. And he was very nurturing and he's very warm, and the other gods will be coming forward, and they're going to stay respectful distance if Odin decides you need like just some time off in your personal space. I don't know why it happens, guys, because I kept telling Odin I didn't know why, because I got everything I wanted, not like trying to be selfish, but I wanted the freedom I thought would be best for me, and I thought if I had ready access to every god and goddess that I've ever worked with, I'd feel better. And I did, but then panic attack because I don't like change. So Odin's being very nurturing, actually, and I'm just having Wolf's flawless guy at this point, and having Wolf dreams, and he's like, I love you, and I'm here for you. I'm not going to abandon you because it's an open house. So really, that's his message for me today. It's like, I love you, and I'm not abandoning you. And I've noticed the difference between Loki and Odin is that they're just here. I can almost always feel them, or I just have to kind of vaguely, feel for their energy. With the other gods, they can be here, but it's more like I have to think of them, or I have to almost like, pray to them or something. And then they're more immediate, but Loki and Odin are always the ones in the forefront and always the ones grafted to me, and they're always the ones that are like, look at it this way, and they're the practical protective ones. But it's still good having the open house, but I'll probably default to Loki and Odin just because they protect me so well. And we're having a lovely rainstorm today. I don't know if we're actually going to get the snow this week. I mean, hopefully. But we're having, the rain and the storm, and Odin's been comforting me and, like saying, see, storms, Odin, Loki, Thor, Tyr. He likes to sometimes pretend Tyr doesn't exist. I think Tyr returns a favor. It's not that they dislike each other, but it's this definite thing of like alpha wolf and alpha wolf. Because remember, Tyr's people don't often do Odin any favors, and sometimes the other way around. So I don't think they actually mind each other personally, but it's kind of that thing of your people won't let my people alone. I think that's what it is. So if you guys like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe. If anything comes to me today, guys, I will get you a god or goddess video. I just, honestly, I was talking to them last night, and I said to Poseidon, I said, I can't think of one story you had that ended well for anyone but Poseidon. He kind of just looked at me. And like with a lot of the other Greek gods, I mean, we can talk about how the stories reflected the culture, and the culture was definitely patriarchal culture where slaves, women, and children were just property and were considered pretty much inanimate objects. I mean, they try to throw that all in Rome, but Greece was pretty much the same way, and a lot of the cultures were. It was like, this is my property. If I do anything to this property that I want to do to this property, is perfectly legal and it's my right. We don't have to go too far into Roman or Greek society for us to just consider them absolute barbarians and think they were monsters and life must have been never-ending terror. But that was how their society was built, and as much as it horrifies us, we have to remember they thought that was morally right and good. They thought that was a good society and strong, noble, virtuous people. Thank the gods we have evolved as a species and we no longer live like that. And most of the things they thought were noble, we now have criminal laws against. So, I think in time our views of the other gods will change as well. And we can't blame the gods for having stories of the culture and time attached to them. So, if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.